Let us continue. The other day we talked about lookup functions. We discussed one lookup function, that was Vlookup. In Vlookup, you could link the data from one database to the another database, but what are the condition? The data that you are looking for is in vertical form, that is column. This is vertical, this is horizontal. So in a Vlookup, I got the data of the stock prices or index values I had taken, in my opinion, Sensex I had taken, and we looked a date into a column, and once we got a date, we took up what? Closing price of a Sensex, and from that we had worked out something. We had worked out return, and I had explained you calculations of XIRR, which was giving you return of on your investment. So now I am explaining you a sister of Vlookup, that is Hlookup, and I'm explaining you one more advanced function which is much more powerful, called as Xlookup. Here we go. Let me open the file that day what we had created. This was a file, right? Okay. So here this was a date, and I looked after the date and I pulled a Sensex value. But imagine a data now. I'll teach you one more function in meanwhile. Imagine this data, which is a base data. I'm just copying that sheet. Move or copy, create a copy. I'm moving it at the end. So yeah, here I explained Vlookup. I'll say data for Hlookup. So here I'm explaining you something powerful. I'm going to explain to you today a kick-ass feature of Excel, CSE array. CSE, Control Shift Enter Array. Understand this. For Vlookup, data should be vertical arranged. So you look at the lookup value on the left side and you pull out the relevant values. Am I right? Now for Hlookup, the same data should be date like this and what? Sensex value like this. But right now, basically you want to convert column into row. Matrices chapter, if you learned in mathematics, it is called as a transpose. So let me teach you two ways to do the transpose. One is a hopeless way, one is a better way. So for the sake of understanding, ये जो column है, ये मैं ऐसा select किया पूरा, उसको Control C किया मैंने, and then I do the transpose here. मैं यहाँ पे आया, मुझे उसको यहाँ पे paste करना है. Alt ES, that is paste special. Paste के अंदर वहाँ पे paste special होता है. Alt ES. Then there is an option called the transpose here. Can you see? I click on transpose and I click on OK. Done. Done. Did you observe? क्या हो गया? Date came in the row form and Sensex value came in a row form. But there is no link of a value here and a value here. So if I change this 233 to 333 or whatever it is, यहाँ पे change हुआ क्या? नहीं. Why? They are not linked with each other. So I'm telling you one more powerful way of doing a transpose. ये मैंने manually किया. ये कैसे किया था? Copy करके paste किया था. So now there is a better way of doing it. What is a better way of doing it? You use a formula called as a transpose. But for that you need to identify how many rows are there. Like for example, I am transposing only first 10 rows. I am transposing what? First 10 rows into what? Columns out here. So यहाँ पर मैं क्या करने वाला? 10 का select करने वाला हूँ. I am going to select 10. अभी 10 कहाँ तक जाएगा? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Am I right? I selected this and then I say is equal to transpose array. Which array you want to transpose? This array. I close the bracket. Now do not hit enter. Don't press enter. Though you press enter, it will not work. You have to press Control Shift and enter all three in one go. दो उंगलियां, कंट्रोल शिफ्ट इधर, एंटर इधर, कंट्रोल शिफ्ट एंटर, आ गया. आप बोलोगे सर ये क्या, डेट की जगह पे नंबर आ गया. दैट इज फॉर्मेटिंग एरर. Excel does not understand that it is a date. So I need to select it. Date is always stored as a number and I need to change the format. So I go to number format. यहाँ पे जनरल फॉर्मेट हो चुका है, उसको मुझे क्या करना है, सिर्फ डेट फॉर्मेट, शॉर्ट डेट. अगर आप देखोगे तो वही डेट आ गया. डेट का फॉर्मेट है. आप बोलोगे सर ऊपर 1 मार्च था. यू कैन जस्ट चेंज द फॉर्मेट ऑफ डेट. यू कैन गेट इट लाइक दैट ऑल्सो. शॉर्ट डेट, लॉन्ग डेट. आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड. But what is the best way of this? If I change this 233 in my base data to 333, this is changed. So I could create a link. But अगर मैंने पहले select नहीं करके रखा ना, without selecting, if I do transpose for the entire array, control shift enter, it still works, but only for the first cell. Did you observe? मैंने क्या गलती की अभी? मैंने select नहीं किया था ना यहाँ पर paste करने का. This is the only problem with this transpose function. You have to identify first this range. This range is of how many? 9,374 rows and 2 columns, which will get converted into 2 rows and 9,374 columns. तो आपको उतना पहले select करके रखने पड़ते हैं. Exactly. तो आप सिलेक्ट, आप बोलोगे सर कैसे काउंट करते हैं, बेटे क्या 1 2 3, नहीं, आप क्या कर सकते हो, वैसा पूरा का पूरा करना है ना. यू कैन डू अ कॉलम नंबर 1, दिस इज कॉलम नंबर 2, एंड देन यू कैन जस्ट कॉपी द फॉर्मूला डाउन देयर. So this is 16,000 columns. Then you select it, Control F, 9374. Now this is not saying not found. You look in values. It was looking in formulas. So 9,374 columns मैंने select किए, क्योंकि वहां पर rows थे ना. ठीक है. अब देखो मैं क्या करूंगा. ये 2 हो गए. And I want to go up to end. यहां तक मुझे जाके रुकना है, right? मैं यहाँ पे end टाइप करके रखा. So my control key will perfectly go there. So this I selected, right? I don't want this. अब मैं जाके transpose type करूंगा. Now I will type a transpose and take this selection, which is 9,374, bracket close, and I will hit what? Control Shift and Enter. I hit Control Shift Enter. हो गया होगा ऊपर. हो गया, done. अब वो date जो है, वो date क्या है? date का मुझे फॉर्मेट चेंज करना है. शॉर्ट डेट लेता हूं. अंडरस्टूड? व्हाट इज द बेस्ट पार्ट? यहां पर मैं कुछ भी चेंज करूं, ऑटोमेटिकली नीचे चेंज होता रहेगा. एंड नाउ वेरेवर आई गो इट विल चेंज. यहां पे 57,000 है. आई मेक इट व्हाट? 58. क्या होगा? लास्ट डेट विल बी एग्जैक्टली 58. डिड यू ऑब्जर्व? चलो, लेट मी ब्रिंग इट बैक टू द नॉर्मल लेवल. है ना? I will just, ये ट्रांसपोज समझा तुमको? Now I have created a data required for Hlookup. Data that I need for Hlookup I have created, and now I want to pull. Now I have date here, and I want a value of that date. So 29 July, same structure that we did other day. 29 July 2011. अब मुझे ढूंढना है, but I want to find not in this. If it is in this format, your table is in this form, which is column. The value that you are looking for, lookup value here is in column form. Here the lookup value is in row form. Row is horizontal. I need to use Hlookup. So I need to use lookup value. Look up this. Where? Table array. Table array is now this. समझा क्या? Table array. Did you find? Comma. उसके बाद क्या है? You can see row index number. I want second row. Second row, like earlier I was looking for second column, and range lookup true false exact match चाहिए मुझे. Bracket complete. आ गया आंसर. Same answer which I had got earlier using Vlookup. Vlookup 18,197. I got Hlookup also 18,197, and then I need to keep this constant. Oh shit. Dollar लगा दिया मैंने. You can put a dollar by pressing F4 key also. F4 key, instead of manually typing the dollar, you can just go and press F4, function 4. लगा दिया. So if I copy this to any other date, let's say I want to type 10th August 2017. What are the Sensex value? Copy के आ गया. That day was not a holiday. I hope you understood Vlookup and Hlookup. Both are more or less similar. Abbas Mustafa, kindly shut down your video. Useless. So now there is a बाप of this, both of them. और इस बाप का भी बाप है. अगला grandfather हम बाद में जाएंगे. Right now I'm explaining you what? Hlookup नहीं, Xlookup. V हो गया, H हो गया. Now Xlookup is a recent function. Somewhere 5-6 months ago Excel has introduced it. It may not be available on your computers if you don't have Microsoft 365. Same चीज है. I will use on Xlookup. Date and I want to get a value. Xlookup का सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज क्या है? डेटा में भी इन एनी फॉर्मेट, कॉलम फॉर्मेट हो, रो फॉर्मेट हो, कुछ भी हो, it will work. Vlookup and Hlookup, both of them have one biggest limitation, and that limitation is the value that you want to look for in case of Vlookup must be in an extreme left column, and for Hlookup the value that you are looking for, that is lookup value, must be in the first row. Many times your data is structured in such a way that your lookup value may not be in the first row. For example, in my data here there is a date. Coincidentally date is in the first leftmost column. But what if I'm trying to insert what if there is a serial number here and my data is stuck up here? I want a date, but my table is like this. I want to look up for a value which is in between. है ना? और okay, चलो दूसरा देता हूँ, simple example देता हूँ और simple करता हूँ. Let me go back. What if this Sensex close column is not to the right but to the left? Vlookup जो है, Vlookup mandatorily requires the lookup value on the left side, and the value to be returned should be on right side. तो आपको Vlookup लगाना, you have to do manually adjust it. Like आपका डेटा ऐसा है, आपको ये कॉलम हटाना पड़ेगा और उसको राइट पे लेके आना पड़ेगा. Instead of doing that, you can use directly Xlookup. तो मैं यहाँ पे डेट टाइप कर रहा हूँ 28 अगस्त 2013, कुछ भी डेट टाइप कर रहा हूँ, ऐसे Xlookup, lookup value, this value, lookup array. Now there is Vlookup के conditions अलग है, syntax बोलते हैं उसको, syntax is different. I go for this. Lookup array is, oh sorry, my mistake. Lookup array is a date column. I selected the entire column, so I don't worry about keeping constant. And I press F4, so column should remain constant. Return array, once that value is found, what should be returned? Now this lookup array can be column, lookup array can be row also. Right now it is column. If I want to show you row, I will show you. Return array, I hope you got it. Then if not found, what should you type? I say type error. Earlier it was typing na is not available. Exact match चाहिए या कैसे चाहिए? I say I want an exact match which is 0. Search from what? First to last or last? I say search from top to bottom, and I complete a bracket. आ गया value. Now same Xlookup I can apply for the same date on a row also. Xlookup, oh sorry, Xlookup, lookup value is this particular date, and I search here. Lookup array is this, है ना? Constant रखा मैंने उसको, comma, return array now should be row, right? Return array should be row. Understood? If not found, I say error. वो error inverted commas में type करना होता तुमको, so that Excel understands it's a text. The text which you type in a formula should be in a inverted commas. If it is exact match, I type 0, and I want to search from first to last. Enter. Normal. Same answer आ गया. Whether Xlookup works, whether it is a row or whether it is a column, and you don't have to restructure the data. So how many lookups we have done? 3 lookups. Vlookup, Hlookup and Xlookup. Other things we discuss afterwards. Bye-bye.